episode 584 comes to you live on the 26th of August 2022. If one can say something unbiased, I'm still recovering from the India Pakistan match, but this match sent a warning that this shouldn't happen because in this match the protagonists had to dig deep into their arsenal when the situation was such that a win looked far from possible. So the protagonists had to dig deep into their arsenal. They had to go deep into seeing how much energy was left in the tank, and they managed to come out triumphs. And this match showed that it was 50% luck and 50% skills. Considering about the no ball controversy, though I don't know what was the controversy about, once the on field official has given a decision, then there is no point contesting it. If the video umpire does not interfere, anyways, in cricket, the video umpire does not interfere on their own because it's not part of the rule book. The only place where they interfere is, which is not exactly an interference, is when they have to tell the on-field official it's a no ball, but that's part of their duties. Their responsibility and duty does not include contesting the on-field official's decision until the on-field official requests the third umpire to take a call because they are conflicted or they're not able to take a call. In this case, the on field official took a call and they got 10 runs of one ball as one of the protagonists dug deep, stayed till the end, and came out triumphs. And people are still talking about it, all the more important because of the events which happened 12 months ago and all the negative atmosphere that was created right until the eve of this particular match. Now, this match is done and dusted for both the teams. They have to look forward to confronting other teams, which is equally important. India's next match is against Netherlands, not exactly an opponent of toughness, means one can steamroll this opponent, but looking at how Ireland outclassed, outplayed, outwitted England today, they won on the Duckworth Lewis method. That means rain played a huge part, and England was slightly complacent in their attitude towards the match. India cannot afford to be. You can expect that Netherlands will give a tough battle. They're not going to go down without any kind of a fight. They will say that it doesn't matter who the team is. Of course, the emotions of playing a full member team, a proper team where you have professional cricketers compared to so-called associate nations where the cricketers are part-timer, considering that when they are not playing, they have other responsibilities and jobs to take care of. So there can be no complacency from either side. Netherlands will say we got nothing to lose. Maybe 200 years from now we could be winning World Cups, but till the time we are given that kind of confidence of winning any kind of trophy, maybe a Euro Cup between Netherlands and Scotland and Ireland and England could be a fascinating affair. But will that happen? There is no European Cricket Council, so we are not even going towards that direction. But I can tell you one thing, don't expect a full house for this match. In fact, don't expect full house for any of the matches, especially matches that don't involve India. Maybe an England Australia match will have a full house. That's the possibility. But whatever revenue was to be generated through crowds and gate money and that aspect of the game, whatever the governing bodies, the local cricket bodies, the respective local cricketing nations had to earn, that has been earned in full through the match between, who were the two countries. I don't expect a full house. rain will play a huge role. The World Cup is heating up. It's getting to that feverish level where anything is possible. Of course, everyone has been saying, don't take any team lightly. Any team can surprise you. Ireland surprised England. Afghanistan got England close. Australia escaped because of Marcus Stoinis' late hitting and he managed to pull one against Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka were also driving Australia close, if not for Marcus Stoinis going berserk, which just worked perfectly for Australia. But apart from that, none of the other batters were able to do the job they were asked to do. So, despite the rains, which I had said exactly in my episodes before and even before this World Cup was officially started, that rains will play a huge role in this tournament. And once that happens, Duckworth Lewis will come into play. You could have situation where a New Zealand Afghanistan match like situation where the match is it doesn't even happen. No toss, no situation, and then the pseudo experts will start asking questions. Do we need to have two games at the same venue? Well, the International Cricket Council must have thought about it before even deciding that they will have two games at the same venue. They couldn't have predicted if this schedule had been earmarked a year ago that rain will play a huge role. There must be some kind of a logistical reason as to why they had two matches at the same venue. It happens. We have seen that before. Maybe it's the time constraints, the scheduling constraints, the logistical constraints of the equipment and the camera person. Though why right now, 20 years ago, they were having matches on different grounds. Maybe they are taking advantage of the fact that since it's 20 overs, we can afford to have two games at the same venue. Didn't the Women's Asia Cup have all the matches of the Women's Asia Cup happen at the same venue? One match was happening early morning, the other match was happening afternoon. Here the matches are happening in the afternoon and in the evening. So if there's a logic as to why this is happening, then there's a logic. There's no need for the governing body to justify, though rains have dented opportunities. England has been dented a chance to get to those 4 points. But then every team will go through that. We never know the India-Netherlands match will be affected by rains. Rains will be there. Don't expect sunny conditions at this point in time. Is it poor scheduling? I don't think so, because this match could have happened anywhere in the world. The only countries that were capable of hosting around this time between post October till possibly March were New Zealand, South Africa, and India. They are the only countries who can host matches between this period. England doesn't do it. Probably West Indies will not do it. Even subcontinent teams like Sri Lanka can host if needed, but only either the Asian teams, that is the countries who play, our neighboring countries, Australia and South Africa are the only countries who can host tournaments, private tournaments, such tournaments around this time period. So Australia was anyways going to host it because of the events of 2020 where the imaginary virus put everyone on a fear level which just made everyone go berserk and lose their mind. And then the tournament was cancelled. India was supposed to host it 2021, but they refused because of the fear of imaginary virus coming up from nowhere again. So they went to Dubai. Then Australia was given this year because of the events of 2020. So things were going as per plan. So whether the scheduling is wrong or two matches at the same venue is right or wrong, there is no moral dilemma to it. The International Cricket Council must have had some thought in organizing the matches at two venues, taking advantage of the fact that you can do it, maybe not for a 50-over tournament, but certainly for a 20-over tournament. A 50-over tournament goes more deep, that is, it can be extended, and then couple of people ask me this question with so much focus around the 20 over World Cup and the 20 over format. Is the 50 over format relevant? Will we even remember that? Well, I can give you an example. 2009, 2010, two consecutive World Cups. Then 2011, the 50 over World Cup. 2012, the 20 over World Cup. 2013, the mini World Cup. 2014, once again the 20 over World Cup. 2015, the 50 over World Cup. 2016, the 20 over World Cup. 2017, once again the mini World Cup Champions Trophy. Then 2019, once again the 50 over World Cup. If there were no question asked then why are we asking such silly questions right now? I don't know. They are silly questions. So let's not get into that habit. Rain, as I said in my previous episode which I produced a month ago, they will play a role. They will affect teams' chances. So no team can say that, okay, let's win the toss, bowl first because it will rain. You saw what happened with England. Despite all their aggressive attitude, they fell short by 5 runs and Ireland escaped. They got out of a corner. So let's not get into that. But despite the conversations around the rain and who all will get a chance, will teams like Netherlands and Ireland and even Zimbabwe surprise the so-called bigger teams? But as I said, there are no bigger teams, there are no small teams. Everyone is equal because that's how it is. It's 20 overs. You don't have to use your brain. There is no cerebral part required in a 20 over match. You know, you have to hit sixes and fours, then you have to get the batter out using your whatever skills are there. So who knows what will happen? India Netherlands match, I'm putting it at a 50-50 level. Some will ask, how can you put an India Netherlands match at a 50-50 level? Some will say India will steamroll Netherlands. Others will say no, Netherlands can surprise you. They can be what is often used, the terminology wooden spoon. They can surprise you. They can draw you close like it happens in other professions. But if this was India versus France in a football match, then well, no one would even say that the match is close. If this was India versus Brazil in a football match, no one would even be interested because everyone would know India would lose 200-0 because that's the attitude we have towards football. But Netherlands has gone beyond such tragic moments and they are in the World Cup. India and Football World Cup are not going to happen. That's something that it will remain a big question mark in how Indian football has been managed. According to me, it's been managed poorly, but we won't talk about that right now. The World Cup is happening, Football World Cup, a month from now. We'll see when that starts and the obvious teams go on to win. But who could be the potential finalists? Forget the semi-finalists. Who could be the potential finalist? Take a guess. I'm not going to say that Netherlands or Ireland or Bangladesh could surprise you. We know who are the teams that can surprise you. Former winners, teams wanting to win, teams which have come close but have been denied an opportunity due to the brilliance of the other team or bit of luck and skill of the other team. So it's difficult to say which team has a chance. But I have earmarked a couple of finalists. But it's possible these teams may not make it to the final, but that's not going to happen. Which of these teams will make it to the final? I do not know, but for me, these are the potential finalists. Nothing surprising. One team is missing, South Africa. I'm keeping teams like South Africa and Bangladesh on standby. I'll add them. But South Africa, going by the first match, rained out, all the effort going into the drain. Literally, they will have to buck up. I have not even included England going by tonight's events. So England, South Africa, Bangladesh, I'm keeping them on the back burner. India, Australia, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, New Zealand, I'm still keeping them on the forefront for now, with South Africa, England, and Bangladesh in the periphery. But you never know one of these teams could be replaced by South Africa and England. So you could have an India Australia final, you could have an India Sri Lanka final, you could have an India Pakistan final, you could have an India New Zealand final. But India will be one of the common denominator, and whichever other team makes it. Now the question is, why am I putting India on the pedestal of reaching the finals? Why not? It has nothing to do with jingoism. It has nothing to do with pseudo nationalism. I just feel this year they can do it after the events of last year where they were denied due to certain errors by officials, and the fact that things are looking good, though they cannot be in that 34-4 situation once again. As I said in the last episode, and my esteemed guest also put it astutely, they will have to be smart about it. And as my esteemed guest once again put it, they will have to be more judicious about being obsessed with winning the toss, fielding first, because it can backfire. Australia escaped last night, but they didn't escape against New Zealand. England drew close with Afghanistan, and today they lost to Ireland. Who knows what can happen in this particular tournament? If any individual has any kind of issues with the fact that I am putting India as a common denominator, well, you know where to contact me. Go ahead, contact me. We'll have a good conversation about this. And I would have put Australia if I was an Australian. I would have put Sri Lanka as a common denominator if I was from that country, so on and so forth for other countries. Why can't I do it? Do I have doubts? Well, you have doubts about all the countries. Anybody can surprise you.
It's
Forget
17:30.
2007, forget 2011, forget 83. Those moments are in the world, those moments are forgotten. So let's not even talk about that. It's a good team, though my radical suggestion of completely doing away with Rohit and Rahul in the team and having Pant and Kohli open may not be acceptable, but that's a future chance. Because the result of this tournament, well, other teams will also have to face certain brickbats and certain tough decisions by their governing bodies and their selection committees, depending on who is eliminated from the group stage, who reaches the semi-finals, who reaches the finals, and if every team has a couple of 30 plus year olds. Australia has a lot of 35 plus year olds. India also has. So let's not label India as the only team with a dad's army, because I do not agree with that term. But the tournament is certainly heating up, but the cool weather means that you may not see too many confrontations between players. You may not see them come to face or do all the antics. That may not happen because of the cool temperatures. And if the rain prevents the match, then they'll be in their locker room cozying. That can be a thing. Though I don't mind if players coming close face to face or having some kind of heated conversation. I would love that without harming anyone physically. I wouldn't mind that. I would love that. I want that to happen in a sporting match without getting into that zone of being suspended for the next match. If you can do it within the laws, take advantage of the loopholes, go ahead, take it. So once again, these are the teams. England, South Africa and Bangladesh are on standby. With India being the common denominator for the teams and other teams being the opposition. And then we'll see what exactly happens. India has faced all these teams in the finals. India Australia 2003 final, 50 over World Cup. India Sri Lanka 2011 final, 50 over World Cup. India Pakistan 2007 final, 20 over World Cup. India New Zealand 2021 Test World Cup final. So it's happened before, it can happen again. 585 will be live on the 28th of October 2022.